Hey there, and welcome to Connect the Dots Learning Center podcast. I'm Stephanie Wagers, your host, and I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're a seasoned therapist, clinic owner, or just starting out, this podcast is your go to spot for insights, tips, and stories that'll help you connect the dots in your practice. In this episode, you get me, just me. I want to talk about cancellations in the pediatric practice. Do you really know how much your cancellations are costing you? If you work in pediatrics, we know that kids get sick and it just happens, right? And it's just normal to have cancellations. But I don't know if you have had the same experience that we have had, but following COVID, not only the world shifted, but pediatric practice life and parent involvement shifted. And we started seeing parents not show up for appointments, wait in the car, have more excuses. And then, of course, there was the COVID excuse, valid or not. I was exposed to COVID. I can't come in last minute. And it went on and on and on. And then finally, I'd had enough. And I really looked at how much this is costing us. If you run a pediatric practice, you know how slim the margins are. It matters if those kids show up or if they don't. So I did the calculations, and let's say you have 15 therapists, and they see an average of 6 kids a day, and you have, let's say, a high cancellation rate. You have a 20% cancellation rate. So that's about 1.2 kids per therapist per day. And let's pretend like you get an average rate of $120. Did you know that you're losing $2,100 a day because of your cancellations? $45,000 a month and $544,000 a year just for cancellations. That's 20%. Let's take those same numbers and let's give you a 15% cancellation rate. You're still losing $408,000 a year. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money. We have staff wanting more money in salaries. We need more equipment. We need a bigger building. And frankly, I'd like a raise too, and I'd like to go on a vacation. So when I found these numbers, I was baffled. I knew something had to change. At the time, I was getting my doctorate and I needed to do a capstone. And so I chose a project that would actually help us. I wanted to find out what led to parents. Well, first, why were they canceling? And so I dug a little bit deeper, and it all came down to how involved they were, if they were engaged or not. And I looked at the research from what made parents engaged and what made them disengaged. I reverse engineered that to make a program to train my therapists how to get better parent involvement. I don't know if you've ever had, I guess, a passion or a drive or something that just eats at you every day and you keep coming back to it and you keep putting more and more and more effort into it. But that is this program for me. I've been working on it since 2023. It's finished and I continually make it bigger and better and improve it. And I have got all my staff through it, and we're reaping the results. We've met our attendance target now all month. We never have done that. We're at 90% attendance. Now, let me just tell you, it's also been cold and flu season. So that's pretty darn good. I'll take that. But not only that, as a clinic owner, I was frustrated with having my staff come in and be irritated with their parents. They're just not doing their homework. They just don't care. They wait in the car. And I would talk to them, well, what are you telling the parent? And they just didn't have very good language for it. And now with my program, they have very specific language and there's no excuses. The therapists now realize that it's their responsibility if the patient shows up, not the patient, not the front desk, but theirs. And it has been an absolute game changer. I'm not going to say it's been easy. There's been times that I wanted to give up. And honestly, I felt like I've been beating a dead horse and have come home some night in tears just because I feel like, what am I even doing? I keep saying the same thing over and over and over. But people need to hear it over and over. And the biggest thing is they need to have the confidence in their ability to have conversations. There's this feeling that we're going to hurt somebody's feelings or step on their toes or make the parent mad. But I'm constantly telling my therapist, if you come at it from a place of caring, you won't make them mad. And if you have the conversation when it happens, you are going to be so much better off. We're finally discharging clients that we've had around for 2 years. 2 years because the therapist wouldn't have the conversation with the parent to get rid of them. Now, when I say get rid of them, I don't mean that mean. I just mean the parent would balk every time the therapist would bring up discharge. Now my therapists have the skill set and we're celebrating all these things and it's truly amazing. The other big piece that I've noticed is my therapists have less burnout. When the parent is involved and engaged and on the floor and part of the team and helping manage emotional dysregulation and tantrums and transitions, wow, it's a game changer. Because let's face it, these kids, they're getting trickier. And the emotional dysregulation coming in our clinic, it's gone up probably 50%. So it's a lot to ask a therapist to do this day in, day out, 6, 7 kids a day. No wonder people are burning out. They have to have a partner in this, or we're not going to have a clinic. But the other thing is, we're giving our parents a gift. We're giving them the gift to be able to confidently parent their child. We're teaching them to think like a therapist. So I'm going to say our margins are still slim, but I have some hope. At least my kids are showing up. I can count on kids discharging. And finally, we're able to kind of work through that huge wait list we have. So don't just chalk up pediatrics to, yeah, it's peds, we're going to get cancellations. Of course you are. But really look at what is it costing your clinic? What is it costing your therapists? And what is it costing the families coming in? Are they benefiting from therapy if the parent is in the car or the waiting room? It's a bigger problem than just having a high cancellation rate. It systemically impacts every component of your clinic. Next time on a solo episode, we'll dive into what creates parent buy-in. What can a therapist do to make it happen? Because let's face it, we get some families. I call it the apple tree. Oh my gosh, I've had so many different experiences. I've had families fall asleep on the floor, on the waiting room bench. I had a dad draw on the wall a target for his son. I have so many stories. I have seen it all. I've been doing this for 25 years. And I've had some amazing families that got it and their kids made such fantastic progress. And then I had families that I was frustrated with because I was giving them the same therapeutic value and activities and experience that I was the other families. But it wasn't enough because I didn't recognize what created buy-in at the time. So we'll dive into that next time. Drop me a message. I'd love to hear what kind of experiences you're going through in your clinic. How are your therapists making sure that the parents are bought in? What are you guys doing systemically in your clinic to make it happen? All right, have a fantastic week. Catch you next time.